Yo, what's good? I'll try to keep myself quite loud as far as volume is concerned because I understand the microphone might not be great at this moment. But I had a listen through to a record as of recent, yeah. I don't even know if I want to say this too early on this YouTube channel, purely as the algorithm might shoot me down from the get-go. But it was from what I was aware, the debut record from DEVOURMENT, yeah. Brutal slamming death music, yeah, toilet guttural vocals. The record was entitled, where do I start? Molesting, Decapitated, yeah, that was the name of the record. 8 tunes on it. They didn't tend to go off of the soundscape from the get-go. It was consistent, it was brutal, it was a ridiculous sound. I have some experience with the band because I downloaded 1 or 2 or 3 of their tunes back as a teenager when I was getting into extreme metal off of LimeWire, yeah. And I had a couple of tunes, and then on one of my birthdays, I think it was, my very first girlfriend, I got her to get me a CD. Listen to this, right? This is how much of a grievo I was. I got her to get me one of DEVOURMENT's records. That was Butcher the Week. I think it was a remaster. It was on CD. Is it paper gatefold or cardboard? What would you call it? But I think it was a different artwork to what they initially had out. I didn't think the artwork was that good, to be honest with you, but the record was ruthless. On the record I listened to today, Emming the Decapitated, I think that was a remaster as well. As I just listened to it through YouTube, and the credits stated that it was put out in 2008 or 9. When I Wikipedia to see what the first record in the discography was, it said 99. But, man, it's an intense record. It's an intense sound. There tends to be 2 variations of the band. You're either getting the intense, in-your-face, verging on, I would call it essentially gore grind, blasting, gravity blasting noise. I can't even hear the riffs that are going on underneath this. It is just muddy as hell. I think the guitars are in like drop A at least. I don't think it's drop B. I think we're looking at drop A sharp, drop A guitars, or A standard, or something daft like that. And the drums just, and then it'll feel like it's rewinding on the blast beats, but it's not. It's just kicking into the gravity. And it's absolutely incredible. And then the second half of the band is the dun 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 dun, just plugging away at them first 4 frets essentially. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think this band, after listening to that record, don't get the respect they deserve as far as, because I've as far as a live circuit is concerned, I did get into death metal music, thrash metal music, and metal as a general early on. And then I got into hardcore, and a subgenre of this hardcore music is beatdown hardcore, very metal infused, slamming, riffage, drop tuned, ignorant, primitive pit music. And what I was hearing on this DEVOURMENT record would have absolutely gone hectic given they were performing in, the right event in the hardcore community. So I don't think hardcore as a whole, let alone metal, gives their props to DEVOURMENT. Obviously you had beatdown hardcore prior to the release of this record, as it was established in 95, beatdown hardcore with beatdown riffs. But the whole slam / beatdown element that I've heard tonight, that was it. So obviously as far as production is concerned, I can't comment too much purely as it was a remaster, but it sounded absolutely brilliant, sounded ridiculous. The vocals were just chirping away, dirty, disgusting, chirping, nonsensical vocal. I mean, it had me thinking about the relation between the stereotype of the slam character, your slam metal fan who dresses in the basketball jerseys and the the short hair and the what would you call it, the new era Cap and so forth, as opposed to like your grungy metalhead sort of character, you know, the more rap infused image of these slam characters. And I can hear it in the music because vocally you're paying attention to the rhythm and the phrasing of the guttural vocals as opposed to like any sort of melodic value or lyrical content. So it's all in the rhythm and the bop of when that slam kicks in. And that was really good. It wasn't the first slam record I heard this week. I also checked out Suffocation's first record, which was, I forgot the title of it now, but I will do a little review on my experience with that record. That was quite pleasing. That was quite pleasing in itself. And that's about it. I mean, these bands ruined my perspective of death metal, because when I first got into extreme music, I got into like hearing traditional style of death metal at the same point as I started hearing brutal death metal and that element of things. So traditional death metal just sounded so much softer in comparison to the, you know, the absolute grunge that I was hearing from the sounds that were being formed and forged by the brutal death metal crowd. So, you know, these style of vocals were right up my alley, right up my alley. On the flip side, I would say I couldn't listen to this stuff too long, as it does get a little bit repetitive. There's not much, well, at least in this record, there wasn't much room for, you know, going off the track, which both is a good thing and at the same point doesn't keep somebody like me too invested, because, you know, external to extreme music, I do like melodies and soft sounds, and I do like pop music elements within whatever I'm listening to, and obviously you're not getting that with Devourment. So that's me signing out. As far as the rating is concerned, well, I'll rate my experience listening to the record. Only 8 tracks. It was the right record length for me. Longest track was at 6 minutes. Probably evening out about 4 minutes general, 4 minutes 20 or so, 4 minutes 10 as far as all of the tracks are concerned. I'd give the album, my experience, a 6.5 to 7 out of 10, I'd say. You know what I mean? I think it was a really good record, just as far as my personal tastes. You know, if this was a hardcore record as opposed to like a brutal death, I'd probably give it somewhere a little higher. But yeah, that was my experience. And I'll finish on a last note, actually. The artwork of the man sitting in the chair, the logo, and the sound that the producer had created for the band, I think altogether that created the perfect image and really put this band in a pure space as far as non-commercial death metal for death metal's sake music went. I really appreciate that. I'm signing out anyway, people. One love.